Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're doing something pretty specific, really granular actually. We are stepping inside the corporate thinking of a huge global brand, Holiday Inn.
Yeah, and not just their finances or anything like that. We're looking at their visual strategy, specifically their official photography guidelines.
Exactly. And we're framing this as essential training, especially if you're a virtual assistant, a VA, someone pitching services maybe to property managers or hotel owners.
Mm-hmm. Because the source material we have, it's a study guide, excerpts from their actual photography guide. It's not just, make the pictures look nice. It's really a strict business blueprint. It's about managing risk across thousands and thousands of hotels worldwide.
Right. So our mission today really is to kind of reverse engineer this document. We want to pull out the absolute core priorities, the objectives, what Holiday Inn really expects from its photos, and frame it so you, the VA, can use this like a cheat sheet.
The tactical guide, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can explain the value. Why spending money on professional, compliant photography actually makes sense for a hotel owner. The ROI.
It's not just about pretty pictures then.
Not at all. This guide, fundamentally, is about building confidence.
Yeah.
Booking confidence. It's designed to make people see a photo online and click book without hesitation. And we're going to get into the nitty-gritty, the details. Like, why does the embroidery on a pillow matter for business?
Okay, sounds fascinating. Let's get into it. All right, so first things first. To really understand these rules, we need to know who they're for. Who are the players here? And just how big is this whole operation?
Okay, so the guide itself, it's explicitly written for two main groups. You've got the property owners, right? The people paying the bills, funding the upkeep.
Makes sense.
And then you've got the professional photographers, the ones actually taking the pictures. By targeting both, Holiday Inn is basically saying, look, the responsibility is shared. Well, the hotel itself has to look right. It has to be compliant with all the standards. And the photographer, their job is to capture that compliance accurately, visually prove it.
Ah, I see. So a great photographer can't just magically make a rundown place look perfect if it doesn't meet the standards.
Exactly. And vice versa, a perfectly maintained hotel can look bad or maybe just wrong if the photos don't highlight the key brand elements.
So they're locking those two roles together.
Precisely. The scale, the scope of this, it's huge. These standards aren't just for, North America. They apply across 4 massive global regions.
4 regions? Which ones?
They list them out. The Americas, that's North, Central, South America, the Caribbean, then Europe, then Greater China, and finally ATA. That's their bucket for the Middle East, Africa, and the rest of Asia Pacific.
Wow. Okay, that's an incredible range of cultures, building styles, everything. How can they possibly expect one visual standard to work everywhere? And why is that consistency so critical across such different places?
That consistency is the business model. It's the core of franchising on this scale. The guide says the mission is providing standards for photos that accurately and consistently represent the Holiday Inn brand.
So it's about brand recognition then?
It's deeper than just recognition. Imagine you're a traveler in, say, Chicago. You're booking a trip to Dubai. You see a Holiday Inn there. You need to feel like certain that the room, the cleanliness, the basic experience will be predictable. It'll match what you expect from the brand you know.
Ah, so consistency removes the risk for the traveler, especially internationally.
Exactly. It's the main way they manage risk and expectation. It's about reliability. Hashtag 1.2 have a section, the value proposition of on-brand imagery.
Okay, so consistency is key. Let's cut right to the chase then. What's the absolute #1 goal for every single photo taken according to this guide?
They're really specific about this. The wording is important. It says, above all, the imagery shown must make a consumer want to book your hotel with confidence.
Confidence. Not just make it look appealing or get good reviews. Confidence. Why that word?
Because booking online, especially a hotel you've never seen, involves risk, or at least perceived risk. The traveler's thinking, is it really clean? Do the pictures match reality? Is it safe?
All those little anxieties.
Right. So by making everything look exactly the same, following these super specific visual rules, the hallmarks we'll get into Holiday Inn reduces that perceived risk dramatically. You see the same lamp, the same desk setup, the same kind of bathroom, whether you're looking at a hotel in Berlin or Boston.
And that repetition, it creates familiarity.
It creates certainty. It stops the potential guest from having to think too hard, compare too much, or worry. It signals this property is part of a system, a reliable, predictable system.
So the financial benefit isn't just vague brand building. It's directly about stopping people from clicking away because they feel uncertain.
Precisely. It speeds up the booking decision, makes it easier to say yes. And who are they trying to make that decision easy for? The guide specifies their target audience.
Which is?
They call them contemporary travelers.
That sounds a bit broad. What does a contemporary traveler actually look like or want, according to Holiday Inn?
It is broad, but it's about a mindset. They're thinking of people who value efficiency, they expect good tech, they want reliability, and this applies whether you're traveling for business, just a vacation, or, with your family.
So the photos need to appeal to all of them simultaneously.
Yeah, that's the challenge. The imagery has to suggest that Holiday Inn is the smart choice for any of those trip types. It needs to hint at good Wi-Fi for the business traveler, but also maybe comfortable beds for the leisure guest and clean, safe spaces for families. It has to convey the full service experience, even subtly.
And if the photos look dated or cluttered,
Then the assumption for this contemporary traveler is that the actual service, the maintenance, the tech, it's all probably dated and cluttered too. It breaks that trust. Hashtag 1.3 high-level imagery requirements.
Okay, before we dive into the really specific rules, let's just nail down the basics. What are the absolute minimum requirements for the photos themselves? For our VAs who need to explain why you can't just use phone snaps. You mentioned professionally shot and well lit. What does that actually mean in technical terms?
Right, good point. Because good photos isn't specific enough when you're asking a property owner to pay for a professional photographer.
Yeah.
So technically, it means things like minimum resolution. Often they'll specify something like 4,000 pixels on the longest side.
Why so high?
It's about versatility and future-proofing. Those images need to look sharp on big retina displays, maybe used in print ads. On massive booking websites, they can't look pixelated.
Okay, resolution. What about lighting? Hotel rooms can be tricky, right? Bright windows, darker corners.
Exactly. And that's where real professional technique comes in. Amateurs almost always get this wrong. The guide implies the need for techniques like HDR, high dynamic range processing, or maybe focus stacking. You absolutely cannot have a photo where the view outside the window is just a blaze of white, totally blown out.
Or the inside is too dark to see details.
Right. A professional photo has to show both the appealing view and the details inside the room clearly. That often requires blending multiple exposures. It's a technical skill, and that's a key selling point for you as a VA. Professionals solve this problem.
Got it. That's a concrete thing to point to. Don't just get good photos, get photos that are technically correct for balancing light.
Correct. And beyond the technical, there are the brand requirements. The images must convey a sense of the Holiday Inn brand values and brand personality.
Which means what in practice?
It means they need to highlight the brand hallmarks. These are those specific, identifiable features that scream Holiday Inn. The photos have to prove those hallmarks are present and correct.
Okay. And the last big requirement you mentioned, it links back to that contemporary traveler idea.
Yes, it's the visual promise of how the place runs. The images must just show clean, uncluttered spaces, and they need to convey the full service experience.
So clean and uncluttered isn't just about looking nice.
It's about signaling operational excellence. If the photo looks spotless and organized, the guest subconsciously assumes the housekeeping, the maintenance, the check-in process, everything behind the scenes is also spotless and organized. It builds trust in the operation itself.
All right, let's get into this core concept then. The difference between on-brand and off-brand. You said this is basically the main filter for everything, and it revolves around these brand hallmarks.
Exactly. Think of the hallmarks as the non-negotiable visual cues. Specific furniture designs, maybe a particular color palette, required fixtures like lamps or shower curtains we'll discuss. If a photo accurately shows these hallmarks, and they're good condition, it's on brand.
And if not?
If it shows something different, or if a hallmark is missing or looks damaged or is just misrepresented, then it's off brand. Simple as that. Rejected. Because even one wrong detail can plant that seed of doubt. Is this place properly managed? Are they cutting corners?
So being on brand is about eliminating doubt. And a big part of that seems to be eliminating visual distractions. Let's talk about the things to avoid. Hashtag tag 2.2, things to strictly avoid in Holiday Inn imagery. Clarity and neutrality.
Okay, the absolute #1 rule, it seems to apply almost everywhere, is the clutter rule. The guide says, avoid any props or extra items that clutter the space and distract the eye. This is really critical for VAs to understand the why behind.
Right. It sounds simple, keep things tidy. But you mentioned cognitive load. Why is clutter the enemy of booking confidence?
Think about it from the guest perspective online. They're scrolling quickly. If they see a photo of a desk piled with papers or a shelf full of knickknacks, their brain actually has to work harder to process all that visual information. It's noisy.
And that effort translates into friction.
Yeah, or even a feeling of unease.
Yeah.
Like subconsciously, if they can't even keep the front desk tidy, what else aren't they managing properly, like the heating or the Wi-Fi or room cleaning? So Holiday Inn demands clutter-free photos not just for looks, but to make the visual experience smooth, easy, low effort for the guest.
Wow. Okay. That reframes it completely. It's about reducing mental work for the customer.
Exactly. It's operational reassurance shown visually. Beyond general clutter, they also say avoid anything that makes the brand look behind the times. That modernity is key. But then you get into the rules designed for, well, global safety and neutrality.
Ah, yes, the sensitive stuff. No cigarettes or cigars, obviously. That seems standard public health alignment.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But the rule about alcohol is more nuanced.
How so?
It says, alcohol can only be shot in a restaurant or bar scenario, never in a guest room photo. Think about those 4 regions again. Views on alcohol vary hugely, especially AMEA, parts of Asia.
So showing it in a room could be inappropriate or off-putting in some cultures.
Exactly. Confining it to the bar or restaurant keeps it in a designated social space, not promoting it in the private room space. It avoids cultural friction.
Makes sense. And then the big one for global appeal, avoiding any obvious religious symbols or religious books. Why is that so strict?
This is pure global business strategy. When you operate everywhere from Texas to Turkey to Thailand, you have immense religious and cultural diversity. Showing, say, a Bible or a Quran or a Star of David in a standard guest room photo, that could immediately alienate huge segments of potential guests.
Or even cause issues in certain countries.
Potentially, yes. So by mandating strict neutrality in the standard visuals, especially in personal spaces like guest rooms or neutral lobbies, they avoid excluding anyone. They create a kind of blank slate, a universally comfortable, secular baseline.
So it's not about being anti-religion, it's about being pro-everyone booking, creating a space anyone can feel comfortable in.
Precisely. It maximizes the potential market. It's a calculated choice. Global sales potential over localized decoration. Hashtag tag 2.3, the importance of the invite. First impressions.
Okay, let's move outside now to the first thing people see, maybe even in the thumbnail image online. The guide calls this the invite. This is all about curb appeal, right? And the level of detail here. Wow. Great stuff for VAs to use.
Absolutely. The entrance has to scream Holiday Inn instantly and look intentional. Take the exterior lighting. It's not just make sure it's lit. They specify minimum 2, maximum 4 lights accenting the main entrance.
And the color.
Has to be the approved Holiday Inn green lighting, that specific shade of green.
So what if the bulbs are old or the fixtures make the green look a bit off? Yellowish or too blue?
Immediate fail. Off-brand. The guide actually tells the photographer to check the color accuracy. A pro knows how to set the white balance and exposure to render that green correctly, regardless of ambient light.
And if the photo shows the wrong green?
The potential guest thinks, looks a bit run down. Maybe they're cutting corners on maintenance. It erodes trust instantly. So for you, as a VA, you need to stress that getting this color right in the photo is proof of quality, high-value proof.
Okay, lighting color. What about the planters and benches? This seems like a real operational task for the hotel.
It is. The rule is specific. 2 sets of 3 brand-specified planters, 1 set on each side of the main entrance.
2 sets of 3, so 6 planters in total.
Yes. And they have to be tiered. 1 small, 1 medium, 1 large in each set, all matching design and color. And this is key. They must contain live, healthy plants.
Live and healthy, so no plastic plants, no dead brown leaves.
Absolutely not. Imagine seeing a photo with dead plants by the front door. What does that immediately say to you about the management?
That they don't care about the basics, if they can't water a plant.
Exactly. How can you trust them with your room, your safety, the air conditioning? It's a huge psychological red flag. The photo must prove the opposite. Meticulous attention to even the small visible details. That builds trust in the whole operation.
And placement matters too. They can't just stick them anywhere.
No, the planters can't block access. And any benches or trash cans have to be the specific brand-approved ones or placed outside the immediate entrance zone. It's about a clean, accessible, welcoming flow. The photos have to confirm that smooth entry experience.
And even the door itself has branding requirements.
Yes, the entry door vinyl graphics. The arc and logo squares graphic. It has to be there, usually on the inside of the glass unless it's tinted. It's another immediate brand identifier. proof of compliance right at the threshold.
Even the doormats.
Even the welcome mats. The primary brand arc mat must be there. It needs to be clean, in good shape, and positioned correctly. Again, think about the signal. A dirty, frayed, crooked mat in the photo. It just screams carelessness.
So the photographer's job isn't just framing the shot.
No, it starts before that. They almost need to do a mini audit. Does the entrance physically meet these standards? Because photographing noncompliance is photographing failure. And as a VA, you sell the fact that your recommended photographer understands this. They capture the proof of compliance. #3. Deep dive into specific execution standards. The details that signal quality.
Okay, the outside is a visual checklist of compliance. Let's step inside now. And the first major hurdle is the lobby, specifically the check-in desk. High traffic, high visibility, #hashtag 3.1, the clutter-free rule in high traffic areas, the lobby.
Right, and that clutter-free check-in desk rule we mentioned, it's applied almost ruthlessly here. The desk must be, and I quote, free of all brochures, awards, accent decor, and any other paraphernalia.
All of it. So no flyers for local attractions, no Hotel of the Year award plaque, no little vase of flowers unless it's brand specified.
Correct. All gone. Property owners have to resist that urge to put stuff out.
Okay, I get the clutter argument from before, but isn't there a trade-off here? What if the hotel wants to promote its own restaurant special? Or sell tickets for a local tour? Isn't stripping the desk bare sacrificing potential revenue?
That's a really sharp question. And yes, there is a trade-off. Holiday Inn is making a strategic choice. They are prioritizing sister ride booking confidence and the perception of efficiency over small, localized, incremental revenue opportunities at the desk.
Why?
Because a cluttered desk, even with useful info, can create a subconscious feeling of delay or disorganization at the crucial first point of contact. A clean, stripped-down desk signals speed, focus, professionalism. The implicit message is, we're here to get you checked in smoothly and quickly. Nothing else matters right now.
So they're optimizing for the core check-in experience above all else at that specific spot.
Exactly. And the only exception proves the rule.
We did.
The IHG Rewards Club enrollment form. That's the only piece of paper allowed on the desk. And it has to be an official IHG-approved display holder.
So the loyalty program is the one corporate priority important enough to override the no-clutter rule.
Precisely. It elevates the loyalty program. Its presence is strategic, deliberate, and the photo must show it clearly, presented correctly.
Okay, beyond what's on the desk itself and its surroundings have standards too, right? The fixtures.
Yes. The lighting is key. The desk needs a minimum of 2 hallmark lamps. Sometimes 3 if the desk is longer. And these aren't just any lamps, they're specific brand-approved designs. The photo captures them as proof the hotel invested in the right fixtures.
And behind the desk?
There must be a signature full-back wall or art wall. This is a major visual element. And critically, any lighting associated with it, maybe hidden cove lighting or track lights, must be working.
Yeah.
All bulbs functional.
That detail working lighting seems small but significant. If a photo shows that signature wall but one bulb is out, what's the message?
Instant negative signal. It says the management is sloppy or cheap or just not paying attention to highly visible details. It completely undermines the premium look. So, for VAs talking to owners, it's not just about photographing the fancy wall you paid for. It's about proving it's perfectly maintained. We show the lights are on. #tag 3.2 guest room and bedding standards, signaling cleanliness and comfort.
Right. Let's move into the guest room now, the most personal space for the traveler. And the bed is usually the star of the photos. It signals cleanliness, comfort, or the lack thereof. The bedding basics seem incredibly strict.
They are. Duvet cover, pillowcases, fitted sheet all must be white, clean, and free from imperfections. No stains, no rips, no wrinkles ideally. And they mention the operational standard behind this. Mattress protectors must be in use. The visual quality implies the underlying hygiene standards.
Let's talk about the white bedding, though. Operationally, that seems like a nightmare. Why mandate white? It shows every single mark.
That's exactly why they mandate it. It's a high-cost, high-maintenance choice that acts as a visual guarantee of cleanliness. You can't hide stains on white. It forces the hotel into meticulous laundry processes, stronger detergents, higher heat, faster replacement cycles.
So it's much harder to fake clean with white bedding.
Impossible, really. By mandating white, Holiday Inn forces owners to visibly commit to the highest level of cleaning. The photo then becomes proof. This hotel is willing to spend the money and effort on provable hygiene. That builds immense trust.
Okay, so the white is a deliberate, expensive signal. Then there's this amazing detail about the pillows.
Ah, yes. This one is brilliant. The guide requires 2 pillowcases with soft embroidery and 2 with firm embroidery to be visible on the bed, usually on the outer sides.
Now, thinking operationally again, doesn't that slow down housekeeping? They have to find the right 4 cases, make sure the embroidery is facing out. Seems fussy.
It absolutely adds a few seconds to making each bed, no question. But think about the value proposition to the guest looking at that photo online. What does seeing soft and firm embroidery tell them?
That they have a choice, that the hotel cares about their sleep preferences.
Exactly. It's visual proof of personalization and anticipatory service. It says, we understand sleep is important, and we've already provided options for you. It elevates the photo from just showing a bed to showing a thoughtful sleep experience. In a competitive online market, that tiny detail can be a powerful differentiator.
It sells the experience, not just the furniture. Clever. What about the bed throw?
Also specific. Must be an IHG-approved fabric. And it needs to be folded neatly in half, showing just a strip of color at the foot of the bed. Again, it's about demonstrating meticulous presentation. Clean lines, correct placement, proof of process.
And the clutter-free guest room rule. Just like the lobby desk.
Just as strict. Table surfaces, desks, they need to be clear. The only things allowed are specific brand items. IHG Rewards Club info, maybe Wi-Fi instructions, the in-room dining menu or directory. And crucially, these must be displayed neatly in an IHG-approved holder. No loose papers.
Why is this so important in the room?
It guarantees usable space. For the business traveler, it shows a clear workspace ready to go. For the leisure traveler, it signals spaciousness and calm. The photo needs to communicate. This room is ready for you. It's optimized for your comfort and function. No visual noise, just clean, usable space. Hashtag tag 3.3, the hallmark bathroom elements. The unseen details.
Okay, last key area inside the bathroom. Often a place where wear and tear or cleaning issues become obvious. The guide has specific hallmarks here too. Let's start with the hallmark shower curtain.
Right. If the bathroom has a curtain, not glass doors, it has to be a specific one. White, with a subtle box tone-on-tone pattern. And the key feature, it must have an arc-shaped sheer window near the top.
A window in the shower curtain. Why?
It's partly branding. The arc shape echoes other brand elements. But it's also functional. It lets more light into the shower area while still providing privacy. It signals a slightly more premium, thoughtful design than just a solid white curtain. And the photo must capture it.
And how should it be photographed? Open or closed?
Must be photographed closed.
Why closed?
2 reasons. First, it fully displays the sheer window hallmark. Second, a neatly closed curtain looks much cleaner and more prepared than an open or bunched up one. It conveys tidiness, readiness, removes any ambiguity about the state of the shower area.
Okay. And there's another subtle detail mentioned, the shower rail itself.
Yes, the standard requires a curved or crescent-shaped shower rail, not a straight one.
Why does the shape of the rail matter enough to be a photo standard?
Because a curved rail provides significantly more elbow room and space inside the shower. It's a tangible improvement to the guest experience compared to an old straight rail that lets the curtain cling to you. So photographing the curved rail is visual proof of a modern, guest-focused upgrade. It shows investment in comfort.
Ah, it signals modern and spacious, even in a small bathroom.
Exactly. It's a detail VAs can use. Ask the client, do your current photos prove you offer that extra shower space? Because guests notice.
Good point. And finally, the amenities. The little soaps and shampoos.
They need to be organized. The guide requires a brand-specified hallmark amenity tray or caddy on the sink counter. Or, if space is tight, a wall-mounted caddy. This stops the little bottles from just cluttering the sink area. It reinforces that theme again. Organization, tidiness, attention to every detail. Even the small stuff is standardized and presented properly.
Okay, we have gone deep into the weeds here. The level of detail, the operational impact, it's intense. Now, the most important part for our listeners, the VAs. How do you take all this knowledge and turn it into compelling reasons for a hotel owner to hire your recommended photographer? How do you frame these strict rules not as annoying burdens, but as, well, pathways to more revenue?
That's the crucial translation step. You, the VA, need to shift the conversation. It's not, hey, let's get you some nicer pictures. It's, let's ensure your visual assets prove your compliance with mandatory brand standards to maximize booking confidence and revenue within the Holiday Inn system. You have to connect the dots between these seemingly small details and the owner's bottom line. Hashtag 4.1, connecting specificity to revenue. The VA's angle.
Okay, let's practice. Take the most extreme example, maybe. That totally empty check-in desk. How does a VA sell that specific, potentially revenue-limiting rule as a positive?
You focus on the guest perception of efficiency. So a VA talking point could be something like, Holiday Inn mandates removing basically everything from the check-in desk except the loyalty sign. Now, why would they do that? Because visual clutter, even if it's useful flyers, creates subconscious noise for the guest. It can imply delays or disorganization right at arrival. So the question is, does your current photography show a desk that screams absolute efficiency? Does it look like check-in will be fast and focused? We ensure your photos communicate that operational excellence. That signal of speed and professionalism helps justify premium rates and reduces friction for the guest.
Nice. It connects the visual rule directly to the guest experience and perceived value. Okay, let's try another one. The bed. Specifically, those embroidered soft and firm pillows. Seems tiny, but how do you sell the importance of capturing that?
Here, you sell differentiation through personalized care. VA talking point.
You know, travelers comparing hotels online are increasingly focused on sleek quality. It's a huge factor. We make absolutely sure your photos clearly capture the soft and firm embroidered pillows alongside that crisp, bright white bedding Holiday Inn requires.
Why mention the white bedding too? Because together they aren't just details, they are visual proof points. They tell the guests, this hotel cares about hygiene and your personal comfort. Capturing that soft, firm choice specifically shows you anticipate guest needs. That small detail builds trust and signals a higher level of service before they even arrive.
So you're framing the standard as a competitive advantage for the client, if photographed correctly.
Exactly. You're leveraging the brand's own rules to make their specific property look superior to maybe a competitor whose photos miss these details. Hashtag 4.2 highlighting competitive edges.
Right. Let's talk about the invite then, the exterior, that first impression. How do you use those very specific rules about lights and plants to make a case?
This is all about first-click confidence. Stopping the scroll, a VA could say. That first exterior shot is critical. We specifically audit your curb appeal for the photos. We ensure the lighting is the correct Holiday Inn green, not close enough. We make sure those mandated planters, the set of 3, matching with healthy plants, are perfectly captured.
And why is that critical for the owner?
Because if that first photo looks off, wrong color light, dead plants, messy entrance, the potential guest subconsciously flags it as non-compliant or poorly managed, and they will click away in seconds.
Yeah.
We provide the visual guarantee that your property's first impression is flawless, consistent with the global brand, and immediately builds trust.
I see.
The message is, non-compliant photos, lost clicks, lost revenue, instantly.
Powerful. And linking it back to that contemporary traveler idea, how do you show the photos meet their needs?
You talk about showcasing the breadth of the experience. VA talking point. Our photography doesn't just focus on the bed. We make sure to capture the full package that appeals to today's travelers. That means showing the pristine, clutter-free desk area as a functional workspace for business guests. It means highlighting the clean comfort signaled by the white bedding for leisure stays, and showing compliant, inviting social spaces like the lobby or bar. We visually confirm that full-service experience so your property attracts business, leisure, and family travelers effectively. Hashtag TechTag 4.3. Using the brand hallmarks as proof points.
Okay, finally, let's focus on those smaller, maybe easily overlooked structural hallmarks, like the curved shower rod or that window in the shower curtain. How does a VA make those seem important to photograph correctly?
You frame them as proof of investment in guest comfort and modernity. Things amateurs miss, but pros know signal quality. You emphasize that these aren't just decorative choices, they impact the guest's actual experience.
So let's try a talking point using the shower rod and curtain.
Okay, a VA could say, a lot of photos might just show a bathroom, but do they prove the quality of the experience? For example, do your current pictures clearly show the curved, crescent-shaped shower rod that Holiday Inn specifies? That curve isn't just style, it gives guests more room, making the shower feel more spacious. It's a modern amenity.
Right.
Capturing that clearly, along with the sheer window on the correctly closed shower curtain, does two things. It proves you adhere to the brand's design standards, and it visually communicates that you've invested in tangible guest comfort upgrades. That attention to detail signals superior maintenance and helps justify your room rates.
It really brings it all together. It's saying, look, Mr. Miss Hotel owner, you spend money meeting these detailed operational standards every single day. Professional photography isn't an extra cost. It's the proof you show to the world that you're actually doing it. It validates your investment.
That's the core message. You've done the hard work operationally. We make sure the photos prove it meticulously, and it's only by proving it through these hyper-specific visual cues that you achieve that ultimate goal. Getting the guest to click book now, feeling totally confident without a shred of doubt. Hashtag outro.
Wow. So we've really journeyed through the incredibly precise and detailed world of Holiday Inn's photography rulebook. It's amazing how everything, absolutely everything from the exact shade of green light outside to the tiny embroidery on a pillow is managed, all aimed at creating this unified global brand image and ultimately driving revenue by building that visual confidence.
Yeah, the key takeaway, I think, is that this isn't just about looking consistent. That consistency is a high-stakes strategy. Every single one of these rules, especially the focus on brand hallmarks and the almost obsessive drive to eliminate clutter, it's all engineered to reduce friction, to remove doubt from the guest's mind when they're comparing options online. It makes the property feel like a safe, predictable, reliable part of a huge system they can trust.
So, for you, the VAs listening, the big lesson is your pitch isn't just about better photos. Yes, technical quality matters, resolution, lighting, but the real pitch is about risk management for the hotel owner. You're essentially saying, look, your current photos might actually be increasing your booking risk because they fail to visually confirm the expensive brand standards you're already paying to maintain day in, day out. Professional, compliant photography removes that risk.
Exactly. Which leads us right into our final thought for you to consider. Something to mull over. If a hotel owner is non-compliant visually, if their official photos show clutter, if they feature the wrong lamp, if a plant is dead, if the lighting is off color, they are, in effect, broadcasting that noncompliance to every potential guest. They're visually admitting they cut
So
corners.
the question becomes, if a potential guest sees clear evidence that the property doesn't adhere strictly to the visual standards set by the global brand, what conclusion are they likely to draw about that property's adherence to the operational standards? The unseen things like deep cleaning protocols, safety checks, food hygiene, maintenance schedules. When the photo standard is so tightly linked to proving operational discipline, doesn't noncompliant photography become a massive red flag about the actual quality of the hotel itself?
It suggests that if they aren't managing the visible details, they might not be managing the invisible ones either. That erodes trust at the deepest level.
Making professional, compliant photography not just marketing, but fundamental proof of operational integrity. That's definitely something to think about. And that is our deep dive.